You know, they say that in the 20th century, 1908, Thomas Arnold, you know, he published this famous God's funeral poem. Like, that's it, we're a new world now, we don't need religions anymore. And that was like a short while after Karl Marx made his famous statement that, listen, religion was just a big sham, right? It was a big hoax. It's the opium, it's just to sedate the masses. It's the opium of the masses. Look at us in the past 100 years. What have we done? We've killed more people in the past 100 years than we've killed in human history. Without God, without religion, by silencing our consciences, and so much more. And are we fulfilled today? We've left the opium of the masses that Karl Marx speaks about, and now we're knee deep in opium for real, right? People are binging on drugs everywhere. Suicide is through the roof. Because without that sharia, you will never be wholesome. Wallahi, I invite you to go out with the brothers, BB and J, and the brothers that do their street da'wah here. If you're from New York, sign up. Wallahi, they're very understaffed and they're always complaining about this. Grassroots Da'wah NYC. Go see the people outside. The people outside are hurting. The people outside feel empty. They feel scared. They have no security. They have no reason to feel happy. And your Sharia came to uplift them from all of that. You know, there's a very known professor in New York City whose name I'll omit. And I always love mentioning his story because he struggled with faith for a long time, and he always talks to people about this. And he was an atheist, and he came back to Islam, and he says, I read a line for Muhammad Iqbal, and it just shut me down. And all my research was finished, and I said, there's no running from this. Muhammad Iqbal, rahimahullah, he says, sure, you can deny God, but how do you deny Muhammad? Alayhi salatu wassalam. In other words, sure, you can be immature and say, I'm not going to believe in something I don't see. Case closed, stop talking to me, right? But how do you deny someone who lived in the flesh here, who God communicated with? How do you deny the reality of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam? How do you explain that? We need to revisit that. How does a man get born in a vicious environment, alayhi salatu wassalam? And he becomes this beautiful, soft, delicate, bashful, merciful person who was content when people couldn't even be patient, and was merciful when people couldn't even be just. And he was gentle with kittens, and he praised people for taking care of animals. And then on the battlefield, he's on the front lines. And the tough guy is the one that can stand by his side. Or the brave person, more respectfully, because these are the Sahaba. Right, Al-Bara and Ali, they say the tough one is someone that could come near him. He's on the front lines, alayhi salatu wassalam. How do you explain someone who's like that, of valor, and then he stops the army, as Ibn Mas'ud says, or he says we were on a travel, and he says, who scared this pigeon regarding her babies? Who took the babies away? How do you explain that? How do you explain the only person in human history that has ever removed racism from society successfully? And I think you know it's alive and well in the United States. The only person in human history that has ever removed alcoholism effectively, that has suffocated the institution of slavery until it dwindled and people benefited from their freedoms and enjoyed them. How do you explain that he, alayhi salatu wassalam, becomes the most influential figure in human history? Alayhi salatu wassalam. How do you explain that? We need to come back and find shelter in these things. There's only one explanation. There's only one logical explanation. And then rationale from there will tell you it's rational that I surrender to this beautiful, perfect, omnipotent God, subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah grant us a new shelter in our faith and grant us the yaqeen that will armor our hearts. Allahumma ameen. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.